And once they found oil, right? Once they found oil, the oil was discovered off Guyana's coast in 2015. So the Port of Spain protocol that they had, all of that went out the window because Guyana found oil, right? That 1977 protocol, 1970 protocol went out the window. Suddenly, this dispute wasn't just about maps and history anymore. It was about billions of dollars in new oil wealth. At the same time, a very different story was unfolding inside Venezuela. Economic collapse, political turmoil, and shortages of food and medicine. It's reported that it forced millions of Venezuelans to flee their homeland, one of the largest migrations in modern Latin American history. Many of those seeking refuge crossed into Colombia and Brazil, but thousands also came to Guyana, their closest English-speaking neighbor. So, though they had the dispute, they had some challenges there in Venezuela. And so they decided to flee their homeland. And thousands came to Guyana. Today, there are estimated to be between 24,000 and 30,000 Venezuelans living in Guyana. And this is documented here. According to the United Nations and the International Organization for Migration. Some of them are indigenous Warao families, and it's W-A-R-A-O, and I've been practicing saying that. I'm sure when Ernesto Cooke from St. Vincent Times, my co-host, comes on, he might be able to help me with that pronunciation. Warao, the Warao families. Okay, so this is an indigenous family whose traditional homeland stretches across the Orinoco Delta into Guyana's riverine regions. Others are young Venezuelans who are searching for work in mining towns and border communities. But life in Guyana is not always easy. Many migrants remain undocumented. They struggle to find stable jobs, and I'm hoping to be able to speak with Miguel today. That was the arrangement. So we are going to wait. They will come into the program a little later, they said, because we want to know how is life like in Guyana. It said that they struggle to find stable jobs and face challenges accessing healthcare and education. Local Guyanese communities already managing their own economic pressures sometimes view the newcomers with caution or concern because they have their own challenges. And yet across these borders, there are also stories of shared struggle, friendship, and cultural connection. And I'm hoping today we'll be able to hear some of those stories. Cultural connections from food and music to language and faith. And this happens especially among the indigenous people. So we want to ask today, how are Venezuelans adapting to life in Guyana? What tensions or solidarities exist between the two peoples? And in the wider region, as countries like Grenada weigh their diplomatic position, will they and others say yes to deeper community unity and cooperation? That's a big question. That's $1 million question. Will Grenada say yes? Yeah. So that's what we are seeking to cover today. And if you are in the comment section and you're a Venezuelan living in Guyana, we would love to hear from you. We would love to hear from you, okay? are you Guyanese living in are you Venezuelan living in Guyana? We would love to hear from you. Mr. Cook, give me a sign that you are ready, sir. You're ready. You're ready. You're ready. Ah, wonderful. Good afternoon to my co-host Ernesto Cooke from St. Vincent Times. It's great to see you and to have you on the program today. How are things in St. Vincent?
Um, well, St. Vincent is at the. It's a hot day, Marcia. It's very hot. Um, Things are bubbling. The elections, the fever is bubbling.
Mm,
Um, there's some campaign that has started. The opposition started a long time ago, maybe 2 years ago. You have to say that.
really?
Uh, yeah, basically, they started about 2 years ago. Really, they had village meetings on and off. I guess they didn't want to waste too much of people's time because there was not an election 2 years ago, so
Mhm.
they would do meetings every now and then just to keep it
Yes.
just to keep the pot bubbling for them.
Yes.
And they would do their house to house. People would tell me that they're seeing them all over the place. So I guess they would have done a lot of campaigning, and they're stepping it up right now. The
Mm-hmm.
government basically just started their campaign, basically, right?
Mm-hmm.
And if I know if I know anything about the government and the ULP over the last 25 years, is that they allow the opposition to run, and then in the last leg they hit it hard and they hit it fast, and bam,
Yeah.
bam, bam. So that is what I am seeing. A lot of people been calling me and asking me when they think is the election. I can't tell you that I'm not in Gonzalez brain. There is no set date in St. Vincent like the United States. So it's at the discretion of the Prime Minister. And what I can tell you, maybe, just maybe,
Yes.
I know on the 25th of this month,
Mm.
they will be opening the new port that they built in St. Vincent, the new port.
Okay.
And on the 27th, there is Independence Day. So take the trajectory, Marcia. We're going
Mm.
to open a new $700 million modern port, and
Yeah.
everybody is excited. So the ball is now in whose domain? Whose domain is it into now?
Ah,
Gonzalez, right?
yes.
Right. And then in one day after, I go to the park. I go to the park, and I have an independence speech, and I give out hundreds of thousands of dollars in things, right? So that's
Ah,
2 days going. I have your mind cockle for the next 2 days, right? That will give me at least, probably if I were the government, a week and a half of people just talking about me and what I'm doing, right? And then on the Tuesday following the holiday, because the independence is a Saturday, so the bank holiday comes on a Monday, right? The Tuesday, there is parliament, and I'm guessing that he's going to prorogue the parliament on that day.
mhm.
So I'm looking at a series of events lined up. So maybe, just maybe, I'm not a prophet, I can't tell you. But that's just some. If it happens that way, you will call me and say, Cook, I don't want to hear anything from you again because I'm scared of you now. But
Ah.
anyway, let's get into this whole thing.
Yes, yes, yes. Well,
Um,
I must tell you, Mr. Cook, that our guest from Guyana, Venezuelan living in Guyana,
yeah.
is having some challenges. So they're working that out, and hopefully, they'll be able to join us a little later because we want to know, what has life been like for them in Venezuelans in Guyana. But what we could do, we could go ahead and talk about Grenada. As we had that for the second segment, and then wait for them, and later on we talk about them living in Guyana. So go right ahead.
Well, Marcia, I am seeing something
Mm.
apparently being set up between Grenada, St. Vincent, Venezuela, and the US. I'm seeing something.
What do you mean? When
Okay.
you tell me seeing something, I know something in something, as we would say in the Caribbean. What are you telling me here, Ernesto?
Okay, so here's what I'm seeing, right? Out of nowhere, there came an article in the New York Times.
Yes.
I think it was yesterday or the day before that says um, basically cocaine um, found on, let me get it back for you. I don't want to misquote anybody because these days everybody seem to be heated, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, Let me see if I can find it back for you.
Yeah, if you find it and you send it to me, I can try to get it on the screen. If you send it, but keep speaking.
Absolutely, absolutely. All
Yeah.
right. It's
While
been.
while go
Let
go
me
go
let me.
while he's finding that, guys, please like and share. Please
Yeah,
like, share, subscribe to St. Vincent Times, and you can subscribe to Africa Bridge TV channel. All right.
I
In the
just sent it. I just sent it for you via WhatsApp.
Yes, go
Okay.
right ahead. Go right
So
ahead.
so this article says a lot without saying a lot. What am I talking about? They said drug smugglers change supply routes to evade U.S. warships. Now, I went through the article because somebody said this they saw St. Vincent mentioning it. So I went through the article, of course, and the first thing that struck me, Marcia, was the photo that I saw as the feature image for the story. It says an anti-narcotics official in Trinidad who was not authorized to release them shared what he said were photos of drugs that washed ashore in St. Vincent and the Grenadines last month. All right. Well, I'll be honest with you, Marcia. The police in St. Vincent has not stated to anybody in any media release or they
Hmm.
have not had any press conference if that's a major fine because what you're seeing in that article is tons and tons of cocaine, really, right? And usually, the usually when we have something like that, the police usually come and say they're having a press conference and detail what they actually found. However, no such thing has happened. So everybody's wondering where this is all going. Now, let me continue with this article. It basically said United States and their airstrikes and their in the Southern Caribbean Sea. They spoke about the Dominican Republic. They spoke about what they found in Jamaica. They spoke to people in Jamaica who's involved in narcotics. It went down. It's a very long article. I keep going down and I'm looking for St. Vincent. I said, this person must be fooling me. And then I'm going down and I'm seeing they talking about boats in Dominican Republic. They're talking back
Hmm.
about Jamaica. Then they went back to Trinidad. Then they came back to Dominican Republic. They talked about Colombia, Venezuela. I said, but where is St. Vincent? All of that? I'm not seeing anything about St. Vincent in this. And then I came down, maybe to the 20 something paragraph because it's a really long article.
Hmm.
And at the 21st or 22nd paragraph, Marcia, it says, this is somebody, it says here, cartels have shifted strategy by dividing tasks such as growing storage and transporting the drugs. Then it says, this is the most interesting piece I've seen. Local drug lords in Trinidad, for example, have been tasked with logistics and security and said the anti narcotics official was not authorized to speak publicly. Just note that, eh?
Hmm.
The newspaper is speaking with an anti narcotics official from Trinidad
Yes.
who was not authorized to speak publicly. Let's
Hmm.
continue. The official said that with 8 US warships in the Caribbean, while in the past there might have been 5 illegal flights in a single morning, there are now 15, he said. He said the drugs were often dropped from planes at sea to be picked up by yachts or commercial shipping. The
Hmm.
official, the official said since the U.S. forces are not attacking vessels at large, he says bales of cocaine
Hmm.
washed up on shore in recent weeks in Trinidad and other islands were packed with rope and hook, suggesting they were intended to be hauled out of the water. He said several large packages of cocaine were discovered in recent weeks in St. Vincent, including a few wrapped in white flaps listing vitamin ingredients that were labeled Industria Colombina. Now, I find this to be a very, very strange article. I tell you what.
Hmm.
Trinidad is in the arms of the US.
Yes.
Venezuela is soon to be, based on what we're hearing, invaded by land. We understand CIA is doing ops inside there now. So anything can pop off at any moment, right?
Mm-hmm.
We understand that Grenada is being pressured and they say that they're consulting and nobody has given an answer yet, right?
Mm-hmm.
Antigua blatantly said no. St. Vincent is one of the best friends I hear Venezuela has in this region.
Mm-hmm.
So here is the mixture, and the cake is being baked, right?
Mm-hmm.
Who in Trinidad Narcotics Division has the right to speak for St. Vincent? That's number one.
Right.
The New York Times, popular paper, did not call the police in St. Vincent to ask them if drugs were found on any beach in St. Vincent. They're taking the word of someone from Trinidad in a narcotics unit who was not authorized to speak. So first of all, if I am in the new running the newspaper business and I'm in the business of propaganda and peddling American propaganda, I could simply make up and say I spoke with somebody in the narcotics unit in Trinidad.
Right. Exactly. Because
So
they claim that the person is not authorized to speak.
exactly. So Marcia, explain to me, how does someone in Trinidad has a photo of drugs on a beach in St. Vincent and the St. Vincent police doesn't have it? Explain that to me. Make
Mm.
it make sense to me. Right. So nobody understands this. I called the police in St. Vincent. I spoke to the high command. They said, Cook, like always, when we find drugs, the whole nation know because we come and have a press conference. We can't hide something as big as that. And I'm sure if we did, there'll be multiple pictures and videos floating around St. Vincent a long time saying that they discovered drugs. Because anytime they find these things, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
People have them all on Facebook before the police even have them.
Correct.
So this is a very interesting article now trying to draw St. Vincent into the game because I noticed something last night when they asked President Trump the question, have you authorized sea operations in Venezuela? Yes, I have authorized that. But not, and he said like this, not only in Venezuela, but in the Caribbean. So
I
which Caribbean
noticed
island
that.
is he going into?
Listen, I listened to him and I noted that, Mr. Cook. I said, uh-huh, uh-huh. Okay, so he's going to target those that are not going to bow down
Side
and say yes. Mm-hmm.
right? So which Caribbean island is he talking about? So St. Vincent's now drawn into it that drugs, tons of cocaine are floating
Mm-hmm.
upon a beach which the police have no idea about. But Trinidad Narcotics Division can speak for St. Vincent. So it's now the Republic of Trinidad, St. Vincent and Tobago. That's
Mm.
what it is now. Because the police in Trinidad can speak on behalf of the police in St. Vincent. And they can send a photo to a newspaper in New York of drugs on a beach in St. Vincent, which the police in St. Vincent knows nothing about. This is a very interesting game, and it's a dirty, nasty game that will get a lot of people killed. And
Yes.
people, and for the love and for the life of me, I still cannot understand how there are so much people in this Caribbean region still bowing to the wishes of Washington. I really cannot figure it out. So all of us are being hauled into a game to be collateral damage, Marcia.
Yeah.
Collateral damage to a country that has an insatiable appetite for oil. That's all it is.
Yeah. But
Go
Mr.
ahead.
Cook,
Go ahead.
Mr. Cook, I only yesterday, after I heard him say that,
Mm-hmm.
I said to myself, they are going to try something. I didn't know about this article, but I felt that they're going to go after
Yes.
those countries who are not in agreement with what they're doing and who are not cooperating. I just had that feeling when I heard him say that yesterday. And I even went as far as saying to Dave, these people are so, terrible. Let me try not to say wicked. That what they sometimes do is that they will connect with the opposition in a country. Remember, they did that to Jamaica. Remember, they did that to
And
Jamaica.
this article comes just in time for the election in St. Vincent.
Listen to me. And so you have to watch also relationship between, because if it is that they believe that whoever is in power, it's not going along with what they want, are they now going to go and back the opposition in a particular country. Please don't come from me, St. Vincent. I am not saying that the opposition party in St. Vincent is being backed by the US, but I'm just talking about what has happened in Jamaica when they did not like what Manley was doing, when Michael Manley was not in agreement with what they were doing and what they wanted to do in Jamaica and throughout the region. Michael Manley would not accept it. And then what happened to Jamaica? The U.S. aligned themselves with Edward Seaga, and basically they even sent CIA agents in Jamaica and destabilized Jamaica to ensure that Edward Seaga would win the elections.
Well, well, Marcia, this comes just in time for the election in St. Vincent. I cannot tell you who they are working with. I don't know, but I can tell you that it's a very strange article. Very strange article that has no information based on the newspaper that put it out. Well-respected paper, they say, in the world, that has journalists all over the world and who can call a police in St. Vincent and say, well, we heard this and we would like to know. And I found that to be a very strange, and the way they set it out,
Yes.
it smacks of somebody working with somebody. But of course, they buried the part with St. Vincent deep within. And if you didn't read, you wouldn't know. But I tell you, a lot of us, when this is all over and done, a lot of us in the Caribbean will become casualty. I pray none of us who are talking and doing these programs will become any casualty. But I'm telling you, if you don't have your head on, you will become a casualty of war.
Yes.
A country being destabilized is not just maybe your grid going down for a day, electricity or telephone,
No.
It's guns being pushed into there to back somebody who can start murdering people out of control, and then the crime rate spiral, and then you say, oh, it's the government, get rid of them. And then you have, Marcia, it's so many things that can go wrong. And these things drag on for years. You see what's happening in Jamaica? That gang violence, it dragged on for years. So let us be clear on what is happening here. So I just wanted to bring that to the public's attention for whatever it's worth. Grenada, another story. They're having protests down there today. People are taking it upon themselves to let the government know that by no uncertain terms, they want no military assets there. I realize that the Prime Minister is out of the country and he's in Africa. So the officials met with the police high command. I'm hearing that they're in a consultation stage. When they were asked yesterday, the Americans, how did the meeting go? They said it was great. They didn't look too happy to me, but they said it was great, and they just went into their vehicle and went away. I'm thinking that what they got was not what they came for. And I believe that Deacon Mitchell, I can't speak for him, but I believe that what Gaston did yesterday, the day before, I believe Deacon has watched it and said, you know what, maybe. Because I think all of the Caribbean islands are starting to realize that when the US was pushing war in the Middle East and all the prices was skyrocketing across the board, the only person they could have turned to for help was Maduro.
Yes.
And they have now understand that when certain things happen in the Caribbean, whether it's a hurricane or some disaster, Venezuelans were on the ground helping them before anybody else came to their rescue. So maybe this is now they're starting to realize what is happening. And I believe even more that, Marcia, sometimes you and I, and you may have this feeling, I've said it publicly already, that maybe I should just leave these people alone to their own fancies because they don't care about themselves in this Caribbean. But maybe our message is getting somewhere too.
Yes.
So there you have it. But
yeah, we have to keep going. We have to
we watch and see what happens in Grenada. We'll see how that unfolds. But as of now, there's no definite yes or no. But we watch and see how that unfolds. We know what Antigua said, and we know what is going to be taking place in Venezuela based on what we're coming up.
Yeah.
My only concern is that with Trinidad, where you see those Trinidadians were killed, I don't know how the Prime Minister of Trinidad is feeling today. Maybe she she doesn't care either, because I'm just saying maybe she doesn't care either, because after all, she said blow them to pieces.
Right, that's what she said.
So I don't
But
think she really cares, but I know that is going to cause another upset in Trinidad. Um, I don't know what is going to take place with that, but that is a sorrowful thing that is happening there. And I'm just warning all people, because this is the month October, and in many of the Caribbean countries, especially the small ones coming down, this is when the tourist season starts, as they call it, and the cruise ships come around.
mhm.
I keep making this point that some have already stated that they're not interested in coming in the southwestern Caribbean because it is an unstable place right now, which means that a lot of taxi men, a lot of hotels, a lot of people who sell the little trinkets when cruise ship come in, they are going to be suffering during this season.
Yes,
So
yes.
I'm just going to leave it right there. I'm just going to leave it there, but I just wanted to put those points out there because I think they're important.
Yeah, I'm actually waiting on I see
Yeah.
Yesenia is there, and I'm waiting. Yesenia, let me know if you have Miguel from Guyana.
Mhm.
Is Yes, what's happening there. So we'll wait till we're going to wait till Miguel. Hopefully, Miguel is going to join soon. But I have in my phone here, hot off the press right now from this has been sent from Umar Abdullah out of Trinidad,
Yes.
and he's saying that on today, October 16th at 10 a.m. They have a press conference because they are, it says you're invited to join us as we collectively raise our voices across the Caribbean region on Thursday, October 16th, to demand that the Caribbean remains a zone of peace. So,
Yes.
this is what is happening in Trinidad. This collective day of action is being coordinated by the Assembly of Caribbean People. There will be press conferences and other activities in very many other Caribbean countries, at least 15 at last count. Here in Trinidad, we'll be doing this via a press conference in Queen's Park, Savannah, opposite the U.S. Embassy. We start at 10 a.m. So things are heating up in the Caribbean countries because, according to this press release, Mr. Cook, because people are asking for the for it to be a day of a zone of peace. I'm getting another one here from Barbados. I didn't even realize. Let me just read this one from the Caribbean Movement for Peace and Integration. Says, dear comrades and friends, the Caribbean Movement for Peace and Integration and the Assembly of Caribbean People, they're using the same term, Barbados' branch, invites you to a solidarity meeting and press conference with the government and the people of the Republic of Venezuela. This solidarity meeting and press conference will be held on Thursday, the 16th at 6 p.m. at the Embassy of Venezuela. This solidarity program will denounce the ongoing economic, political, military, and media aggression against Venezuela by the United States. Wow. So it seems like this seems to be happening all over today, the 16th. We know for sure it's happening in Trinidad and it's happening in Barbados. Is it happening anywhere else? Anybody up there can
Um,
tell us? Yeah, go ahead.
I know that the Venezuelan embassy in St. Vincent
Mm-hmm.
had a press conference, and they spoke out about the issues that are affecting them, and they called for solidarity with all the nations of the Caribbean with them. I know they had that in St. Vincent, and the ambassador here was basically spelling out what was happening, and he gave a pretty good rundown of it. But I think he focused a lot on what is happening, that since 2015, the U.S. government has maintained, this systematic policy of sanctions and measures to seek to suffocate the economy, and that has caused about $640 billion and freezing of more than 20 billion in assets abroad, Marcia. That can cripple a country.
Mm-hmm.
And that is why people have been running out of Venezuela. So when people say that it's just Maduro, if you pressure a country, if you go put sanctions on Barbados because they're not aligning with you, people will leave Barbados. It's
Yeah.
clear. So, but that is what and I know there are different small groups in St. Vincent that has been calling for a pressure campaign to to be in solidarity with the Venezuelans on what is taking place. So that is something I know.
Well,
Go ahead.
we have Yasina is here, and I know she has a different view on this.
Yes. Yes.
And even though we're waiting, let me bring her in, and she will be able to tell me what's happening with Miguel in Guyana. Good afternoon, Yasina Gonzalez. How are you doing
Yes,
today, ma'am?
fine. Thank you. I'm blessed, and I happy to speak to you again. It's a pleasure. And good
Yes,
morning, Mr. Pedro. Pedro,
Mr. Cook,
what is your
Ernesto
name
Cook,
again?
Cool.
Ernest,
Ernesto.
Ernesto Cook.
Ernesto. Okay, okay. Nice meeting you.
All
Yes,
right.
Yes.
yeah, he's from
In
Central
regards
Time.
to your uh-huh. In regards, I just want to be briefly because I know I could take the whole day talking about this, eh? Because this is something that we could never end, and it could never end
Yes.
Yes.
because there's so much to say and so
Right.
much that happened in the past 20 years in Venezuela.
Mm-hmm.
Why Venezuela went down in such a poverty and and I mean the whole country in a total disaster. We don't have electricity, we don't have water. Well, they blaming the Americans that is because of the sanction.
Mm-hmm.
They sanctioned them because for a very long time they suspect that they was involved in narco-trafficking. They are the cartels. Nicolas Maduro is a real criminal. He has killed a lot of people in Venezuela. He has sacrificed Venezuela. He's a big corrupt man, and his alliance to all these terrorists. He's in organized crime together with the four cartel in Venezuela, which is
Mm-hmm.
Cabello and all of those criminals. So I have to express myself like this because I know what I am talking about.
Mm-hmm.
They always blaming Americans, say, well, it's because they sanctioned them and this and that. We don't have democracy in Venezuela. He's a dictator. We're living in a dictatorship where we can't say anything because if you say something, they put you in jail. I have not going to Venezuela for the past 4 years because if I go into Venezuela, they would put me in jail because I could talk like this. I
Mm-hmm.
have my expressing my view, my feelings, my emotional feelings about my Venezuelan people. A lot of people left Venezuela because of they can't get food. Things are so terrible there. The crime is bad. Plenty criminals all over the place in Venezuela. And El Tren de Aragua also, Maduro said that one of his people, which is Cabello, are the one who created the El Tren de Aragua. El Tren de Aragua are the worst criminal ever. When they kill you, and they make sure they take out your eyes while you live in. So
Wow.
that is to tell you how bad and how horrible they are. And they create those groups to terrorize and to control. But when they say that how, because of the sanction Venezuelan suffering, I want to ask one question.
Mm-hmm.
How come Nicolas Maduro owns so much of properties all over the place in Turkey? He have the biggest mansion ever. Chavez daughter owns the one of the biggest mansion in Paris,
Mm-hmm.
right? In Dominican Republic, Maduro owns planes. Take all the gold, give away all the gold to China.
Mm.
Delcy Rodriguez came to Trinidad during the time of the pandemic, and she came in a sanction plane in a secret way. She's the most corrupt. She's controlled. She's the one who actually administrates the money. She's thief. She's the biggest thief and the biggest corrupt, and she's a real criminal too. They have thief Venezuela, oil, the gold. They have been doing massive robbery in Venezuela. We are actually Maduro is an illegitimate president. I don't recognize any embassy, Venezuelan embassy right now that operating on the Maduro because to me they are alliance and they are spies. I
Mm-hmm.
would not stand up. The only time I stand up in front to the Venezuelan embassy in Trinidad and Tobago is to protest against it to just get out because you are there and are illegal. He has lost the election and Maduro has right to take the people out in one time. And Mundo Gonzalez, which is the one who won the election, is the president. He robbed all the election. And secondly, something very important I have to say, Maria Corina Machado did not win the Nobel award because of she just give it to you. That is one the most respectable award in the world. When you win that, that is to tell you what you have done in life. Mandela won the award, Nobel
Mm-hmm.
Award, and he was a fighter, and I always admire him. I always read books about him, right? Because I like to read a lot. And it's now that I getting old, I kind of reading less, but anyway, I a good thing we have the phone because I reading on the phone too in Google and all of that. Guys, go Google and
Yes.
read, right? But Maria Corina Machado, she's a iron woman. She has fight for the election. She actually the one who set up in her opposition when she was opposition, set up the system to make sure that this time around Maduro will not come and say, "Oh, he won." They do it digital, and he's shocked when they asked Maduro to show the acts that he won the election. He said the reason why he can't show it because China was doing it and something went wrong on the system. Lie. He's a liar. He's a
Mm.
thief. He's a criminal. And it's not because they sanction Venezuela, Venezuela endorsed it. It may cause some effect, but it's because they thief all the money. They greedy.
Okay.
All of them. They living wealthy. The whole
Mhm.
family. Where you get that money from? How suddenly Maduro, the wealthiest man on the world? How come all these militaries from the cartel, solar cartel, have big money laundering, human trafficking? They are the worst criminal ever. And
Mm.
Maduro only days has numbers, either dead or alive. He has to come out in a black bag or he has to give himself to this. We
Wow.
don't have
But you see,
no.
yes, you know, this is quite. I mean, it's interesting, Ernesto, to hear it from someone who is a Venezuelan, and that's why I love to
Yes,
talk to
Yeah.
everybody. And
yes.
Yesina has been living in Trinidad for many, many years. How long have you been living in?
Nationally, next week I will get my oath as a sitting sing in Trinidad and Tobago.
And how long have you
How
been
long?
living there?
Yeah. How long have you been there?
40 years.
40
40
years.
years.
40 years. And
So when did you leave Venezuela? 40 years from
When
this is
I
2025.
left, I left Venezuela when I was 19 years old.
90. So that means you left Venezuela when who was in office when you left Venezuela? Who was in like in government?
I
Who was the
think Carlos Andres Perez, one of the
Carlos Andres
democratic
Perez?
leaders. Yes.
Carlos Andres Perez. But let me ask you a question. When
No, I think it's Caldera.
Caldera,
That is
that's
okay,
a, that's
yeah,
a
one
that's
of
a
them.
long time, but I mean this is good.
Listen, when my mother was pregnant,
Mhm.
and she was a fighter too. She was a human
Yes.
rights activist, and she used to fight
Yes.
for the people and the poor people especially. She
Uh-huh.
was pregnant. That is when they overthrow Pere Jimenez,
Yes.
and she was about to have me. So she had me while Pere Jimenez was overthrown.
oh wow.
Pere
Okay.
Jimenez was the dictator in Venezuela.
Let me ask you a question. But that's a lot of history you're giving me right there. Um
Yes.
yes, let me ask you a question. When you left Venezuela, you said Caldera was president. After
Yes.
Caldera, after Caldera, I think it was Andres Perez that came in after him.
No, Carlos Andres Perez was before Caldera.
Okay. So let me ask you a
Yes.
question. Would you say that Caldera was um, friendly to the United States government?
We're always friendly to the United States of America. Always, always,
Right.
always. It's only
What?
when Chavez, who is an
Mhm,
ex-criminal, well, he died. Thank God for
mhm.
that, right? He must be in hell right now because he's the one responsible for all what's going on right now,
Right.
right? So, um, is when this thing about the dictatorship and socialism and all of that
Mm-hmm.
came out, and it was not even a socialism anymore. He's a
So,
dictator. So
so
he
yeah,
ruined the country.
mhm. Yeah, because this
He,
is,
you know what Chavez did? When
mhm.
Chavez came into power, you know what he did? He stand up so one day and he say, "It come like like you say, well, okay, it's not going to be no more red light. I'm going to put
Yeah.
blue now." He just decide to break every single feel like he's God, and he would stand up and say, "Okay, you see that property there? I taken that. You see
But
that
I'm
mall
trying to
there? I taken that." Huh?
I'm trying to
He
get
thief,
something here.
thief all people property, Chavez.
Yeah.
They say he was a good man where? He was a big thief.
I'm trying to get something here. So you left there when you were 19.
Yes.
You left 40 years ago when Caldera, and you said he was a Democratic leader.
I think
Um,
so. I have to search for
Basically,
that. I can't remember.
so, and at that time, the United States of America and Venezuela were really good friends. I from my
Always. We
research of
always have a very good relationship with America.
right
Always.
from my research
It's just
of
like
that
in Trinidad. It's just like in
right.
Trinidad. Trinidad
It appears
always have a good relationship
it
with
appears to me
America.
that when I read the history of Caldera, Andres Perez, and the others, their relationship with the U.S. was pretty good. From what I'm
Yeah.
reading in history, it appears that the U.S. had their way inside of Venezuela. When I say had their way, they were having access to everything they needed. And when I say everything, it appears that they were having access to the oil. Their
Yeah.
companies were there. A matter of fact, I read where they said that Caracas was called basically almost like Little Miami. That's what they were calling
Yeah.
it.
Could I say
So,
something to you? Could I
so
say
it appears,
something to you before?
go right ahead. Go right ahead. Go right ahead.
No, I'm not meaning to disturb you, but I to
Mm-hmm,
interrupt you. But let me
mm-hmm,
tell you something.
mm-hmm,
People say that how the reason why America wanted to get rid of Maduro is because they want the oil. I
mm-hmm.
will be so happy if America take the oil when we get rid of that criminal.
Okay.
Because let me tell you something. When this dictator, I
Yeah.
just mentioned his name, was over was in power, he wasn't really bad to cause so much of poverty in Venezuela. But he opened the door
Mm-hmm.
to a lot of Venezuelan education, whatever, whatever, whatever. It wasn't like that. That dictatorship wasn't like that. Like how, but we're talking about dictator and a criminal. Maduro is a dictator and a criminal. When Perez Jimenez, right, um, was overthrown, American build the oil, the refinery, build Venezuela, open the door for agriculture in the world for Venezuela, open the door for Venezuelan people to study, open a lot of things in Venezuela, benefit Venezuela, because without the help of the United States of America, the oil will never be the way it is now. You understand? They actually built Venezuela after Perez Jimenez.
Wow.
So
But
we're very
hold on a
But
grateful.
I'm
second there.
but
Yes,
I'm trying. But I'm
Yasina, hang on and let Ernest is
yeah.
asking them important
I'm trying.
Yeah,
questions. Just
I'm
hang
trying to
on.
get.
yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
I'm trying to understand because I'm happy to speak with people who are from Venezuela because you hear a lot of things, you see a lot of things on the news. I'm always happy to hear from people inside who came from there. It's always best to hear from the people. And but when I listen sometimes, I because for in your case, you left there pretty young, 19, that was very young. Um I'm wondering sometimes if when we leave, if we based our assumptions of what we know and what we are hearing now, not from being there, but from what we hear on a different medium. Because you also mentioned something about Maduro drug law, dictators and stuff like that. But what I find strange, I'm hearing all of that, right? And I'm not gonna doubt you because you have family there, you may have information that I don't have, right? So I can't doubt you and say that it's not true. But what I find strange is that I'm hearing it from people in Venezuela. The Americans are saying it, but yet the last couple of years, I'm reading the documents out of the US produced by the US government themselves. The same people who are telling me today that this is the situation why we need to get rid of Maduro. And none of their documents are stating that he's a head of a cartel. None of them. The last three didn't say that. The last three didn't say that he had the cartel of the Sons or Solace, whatever they say it's called. I'm talking about the DEA, which is the Drug Enforcement Agency of America, well-respected agency in America, which talks about all of these Caribbean countries and whether drugs come from there or whether they're from here. The last report stated nothing about Maduro and a drug cartel. Listen, no, hold on. They spoke nothing about drug shipment out of Venezuela. The State Department recent report of 2025 did not indicate that to us either. The UNODC, which is the UN Drug Office, 2025 report stated nothing of that sort either. A matter of fact, all of the maps available within these reports did not even show that the main drug trafficking route out of South America was Venezuela. It said Colombia, Bolivia, and Peru. And even in their report, they're saying that the drugs that come into the US, which is the fentanyl and the cocaine, the bulk of them, and they put it like that, they said the bulk, and they said minimal. They said minimal come from Venezuela, and minimal could mean any amount of thing we don't know. But they said the bulk, and when we hear somebody say the bulk, we would say out of 100 scale, where would you say, how much would we say is a bulk? We might say 90%. But their report is saying that the drugs are coming from the Pacific routes, not even the Caribbean Sea route or the Atlantic route, which gives Venezuela that. You understand what I'm saying? So my thing is, I'm trying to figure out the Americans really. What is it that they are based in their information on? Because if their information is telling me, which is in the public domain, that Maduro is not doing this, there's no cartel of the Sons in their report, the drugs are coming from Colombia, Peru, and Bolivia, which is the main drug traffickers. I don't understand it. I don't get it. I'm trying to understand it. Okay, I think I lost the audio from my friend from Venezuela there, and I lost the audio for you as well. Yeah, okay, I'm getting it back now. I'm getting it back.
Yasina, unmute your mic. Your mic is muted and it's not coming back on.
I will have to come off and talk to him and come back.
No. You're perfect.
No, go ahead. I'm hearing you. Go ahead. I'm hearing you.
Yeah.
But any response to that? Any response to that? Yasina, because we really want to understand.
Yeah, I'm trying.
And then we're hearing what the U.S. is saying, and so we really want to understand. Can you respond to Ernesto?
Well, the Trump administration.
Sorry.
Yes. Can you hear us? Are you hearing me? You're hearing me, Ernesto?
Yeah, I'm hearing you loud and clear.
Yes. Yasina, can you hear us?
Yes.
Okay. Are you trying to speak to the person in Guyana? Is that it?
Oh, okay.
No, well, I don't see him. I know they say that he's muted.
Okay. All right. So, all right. No problem. Yasina, can you respond to what Ernesto is saying? Seeing that you haven't lived there in what 40 years, could it be that you are listening to just what is being said by Trump and by the U.S.?
Listen, the Cartel of Sons is an informal Venezuelan crime and terrorist organized headed by Maduro.
Mm-hmm.
The Cartel of Sons, when you hear Cartel of Sons, mean the military that surrounded Maduro, who wear the sun and the clothes and the uniform.
Mm-hmm.
They are aligned with all these terrorists. They have investigated those terrorists, the Cartel of Souls and El Tren de Aragua. Maduro admit last week in one of his message that he's saying, because sometimes he's come out, he hiding like a rat, sorry to use that word, in a hole. So he come out sometime and he goes inside in this bucket, wherever he is, deep inside, 40 feet down, How long you will be hiding 40 feet down in the ground? That's what he is right now. So he come out and he did admit that one of the that Cabello, right? He is the one who created El Tren de Aragua. He is the one who caused destruction in Venezuela. He is the one who bring poverty in Venezuela. He is the one who is corrupt. He is the one who doing trafficking. He admitted. And that is the man, that is his right hand, that is the vice president, that is the right hand man there for years since Maduro in power. So they themselves admitted that they are involved with el Tren de Aragua. They have sent people, they sending poison drugs to America to kill people. Maduro killed millions of people. He's worse than Hitler.
Hmm.
And it's not
Okay.
the America will just happen to pick up a Maduro and what Maduro. What for he will do that? The
Mhm.
America always benefiting from from Venezuela.
So let me ask you something, Yasina.
Always
Are
we
you
have a
in,
great relationship.
Yasina?
Trinidad and Tobago have a great relationship with America all the time.
Yes. So
But
Yasina, let me ask
respect.
you a question. Can you
Mm-hmm.
hear me? I wanted to know from you,
Mm-hmm.
Yasina. I know that you know, like us, you get a lot of
Yes.
your information through the U.S. media. I want to know: do you speak to the people in Venezuela? Are you in constant contact with the people in Venezuela? Where do you get the bulk of
From
your
the world.
information from? Huh? Yasina, do you get your bulk of your information from the people in
Well,
Venezuela?
I live to see all of that. I mean, after a while, you get this on the news.
Yes, her Wi-Fi is.
Yes, yes, of course.
Yeah.
And I saw. I went to Venezuela many times. I saw how the country is suffering. I saw how Maduro treating people. How Maduro treating the people. I mean, you can't say anything in Venezuela. You can't say I don't like Maduro because you will be in jail. They kidnap children. They forcing children to go and protest. When you see all these protests, they see forcing the people to go and protest. They going into your house like a home invasion and raping women and killing women and taking everything. And right
Yeah.
now, Venezuela is like that. You may see a picture of Venezuela in certain part of Venezuela,
Mm-hmm.
but if you going if you go in the countryside, you will see little children begging on the street, stopping cars for begging food. You know, a little child, 12 years old, or a little child, 11 years old, in the street. You as a father would like to see your child like that in the street begging. That little child could be kidnapped, could be a victim of human trafficking.
Yes.
He don't
But
care about
hold a
that.
second, Yasina,
So what more to see
Yasina,
when a
one
government
moment.
could allow that?
Yasina,
If
Yasina,
for me, if,
Yasina,
yeah,
one moment. I don't know if you're
yes,
hearing because of the Wi-Fi. Can we just we got that
yes.
information. Thank you for that. But somebody wanted to ask you, how do you feel about the people who have been killed in the boats? We've had I don't remember. I can't. I've lost
A
count.
lot of people probably about 20 something by now, but
About 20 something
about
persons
20
have been
something by now.
killed in the boats. How do you feel about that,
Listen,
Yasina?
I feel, how you call it? I feel sad that people have to die like that if they
Mm-hmm.
don't get involved or associated with criminals. I didn't say these people are criminal, but I am not FBI, I am not CIA to say, oh, they should kill them and they should not kill them. But I know America are not going to just shut a boat just so, because they have the high technology when you could actually zoom the boat and see everything going on inside, get information before, because that boat came from Colombia, the last boat came from Colombia. So they're not going to just shoot a boat just so. They have the technology, they have a spy all over, they have everything, all the technology you could ever find. America is the police of the world.
I I want to
It's
ask a
very
question.
powerful, very
I,
powerful. And they
I
are
want to
not
ask.
just going to shoot, like if I would go and shoot somebody outside and shoot them and hide. This is thing that they have been watching. What you
Yes,
doing in a red zone? You know you have a red zone. You don't supposed to go there. What you doing there? You
How
know
do we
they're an alert. There's all over, all over. I ain't
yes,
say, but America not
how
going
do
to
we back?
shot about just so at least they investigated,
yes.
Co-
Okay. Thank you, Yasina.
right?
And we see that you
The
really believe
CIA
in
right now in
you really
Venezuela,
believe,
eh?
Yasina.
The
Excuse me.
CIA,
Jessina, hang on. We have one more question for you, and then we will have to. Then unfortunately, we will have to end the interview because we were hoping to get somebody from
Yeah.
Guyana. But you have a question for Jessina, Ernesto. Go right ahead,
No,
please.
I just wanted to ask because I am, you know, when I listen to people in Venezuela, I hear different things and I hear different people comments who live in the US, or if you live in a different country, you'll have a different perception as to what is happening in Venezuela, right? Because you get your information from a different route. But I'm trying to balance this thing out. The lady who is the opposition leader, or who's currently heading the movement, basically to be rid of Maduro. I mean, how do we balance people? Who do we really choose to be leaders of our country? Because when I look at her, some of the things that she would have done in terms of why would you, as somebody who want to lead your country, why would you support sanctions on your country just to have it? I don't get it, because in the meantime, you want to be rid of somebody, you're supporting the sanctions, which she clearly says she are supporting. That is disproportionately harming a lot of Venezuelans, because those who are at least there, they're limiting their access even further to food, medicine, energy, whatever it is. And then you're advocating for foreign intervention in your own country, which of course, if the way you describe Maduro as a drug lord, it means that therefore they will not go down without a fight, which means people may get killed in Venezuela, innocent people too. So how do we balance this equation where we want to be rid of somebody and we want somebody who's advocating for things that can even, I don't know, I'm trying to get it. I mean, I'm trying to figure it out, because for me personally, if I were in Venezuela, I would say to myself, look, okay, I'm hearing this about Maduro. He's horrible. He's this, he's that. Okay, maybe it's time we get rid of him. But how do I advocate for somebody who is saying to get rid of him, let a bigger nation with more firepower, whatever, invade my country? My cousin might get killed. My uncle may innocently get killed. Yes, bring the sanctions on me. I'm living there. I can't even get what I want, and there's more sanctions because I'm supporting. I don't know. I mean, how do we balance these things out? I mean, is she any better than Maduro? I mean, which what she's advocating for? So I'm trying. I really, and I want to talk to my good friend there. I mean, I want her back on the program because I know the time is running out. I want us to have a real deep conversation about what we really, what is really happening in Venezuela. And
Yeah.
maybe if we could get some people who are living inside of Venezuela right now. I mean, I think there's a gentleman who I think I'd be able to get, but I need more persons. But I wish Venezuela the really best. I want the best of Venezuela. I have been to Venezuela about probably 5 times. I can tell you that. And some of the things that I would have seen on the news, well, I didn't see them when I went there. Maybe where I went, they were not taking place, but I so much things are happening. There's the politics, local politics, where opposition wants to get government, where the government don't want to leave power. There's the Americans wanting this, some people want that. There's so many things mixed up in this that sometimes you wonder. But anyway, I'm not gonna carry on with that conversation today. But I'm happy to hear that what my friend from Venezuela said to me. I didn't know half of those things. I'm happy to learn that history. I'm very thankful to you. I've learned a
Yes,
lot from
thank
what you
you.
said. I've learned a lot from what you said to me, and I really
Mm,
want to wish Venezuela the best. I want your country to be prosperous. I want the people to live
yes,
free like
yes, and it's
anybody
going to
else.
be, and just now we're going to celebrate.
Okay.
Just now we're going to celebrate our freedom, our democracy. And let me tell you a little bit about the sanction.
Yeah.
Once the recent Maria Corina Machado, the vice
Mhm.
president, right?
Mhm.
She is the vice president because we won the election.
Yeah.
That the reason why she supported the sanction is because if you don't sanction, then Maduro will continuously thief, rob Venezuela, control Venezuela, continue
Yeah.
feeding the cartel, the drug lord, right?
Yeah, but
So that is
yeah,
why
but
he was sanctioned. Because
yeah,
a
but
lot
listen.
of things he broke a lot of things that he was agreed with. Like for
Mhm.
instance, there was something in Barbados where he promised
Yeah.
that he will free the politicians in Venezuela and that he will have a fair election. And he did not fulfill that. That is the reason the Americans will not trust him, because he's a criminal, and that as long as you don't sanction Venezuela, he will continue wrecking the country and
No,
continue thieving the country, and the people continue suffering. People
yeah,
eating
but
out of the garbage, and the
right, but that is
garbage, you
because
could see
yeah,
them
but that is
inside.
because yeah, but that is
Not
because
because of the sanction, but
no,
how come he's
it
so
has to
rich?
be no, it has to
How
be
come
because
Maduro is so rich?
no, listen to me. That has to be part of the sanctions, and I'll tell you why. If I sanction a country and there are innocent people in the country who are not partaking in Maduro's follies, you must find a way to walk around ordinary common people and sanction the government itself. When I say government, the people within the government, and the US have done this in different countries before, where they've sanctioned the prime ministers, they've sanctioned the opposite people, members of parliament, their family members. But what I'm saying, you can't sanction an entire country. You're gonna make innocent people suffer, and she's advocating for that. I can't support her in that regard, in sanctioning her own people because you want to get rid of what you call a criminal. I can't
No,
support it.
well, listen, early sanction came in response to the repression, right? During the
Yeah,
2014,
right.
and the 2017 Venezuelan protests,
Hmm. Okay,
right?
okay, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, we will definitely need some more time to discuss this at length because my time is already gone. My pot is bubbling still. It's after 2. So I don't want it to burn. I don't want.
I really appreciate
Yes,
you also. I learned from you too.
yes.
Yes,
I'm really
thank you,
happy.
But
Justina.
don't worry, listen.
Yes.
Trump give Maduro 24 hours to
Okay.
give himself.
Yes.
And they already sent the CIA in
Right.
Venezuela right now. So
Okay.
he
Wow.
has 24 hours that they go in full. So let's go and pray that he will give himself, and he will say, listen, I admitted that why he don't give himself to the authority if he's so innocent? Why you hiding? Why you
Yes.
don't show the acts that you won the election? Where it
No.
is? He didn't show it. So we hoping that he will give himself to the authorities and we don't
Yeah.
have bloodshed,
Okay.
right? And that we praying for peace,
Yeah.
All
honestly.
right.
We
Thank
Okay.
you
praying for
so much,
peace.
Justina. Thank you very much. And tell
And
your
thank you
friends
for
that
the Caribbean. Thank you for the Caribbean. Thank you for Grenada and all those countries who are really, really standing for us. And for
Yeah.
yes,
Trinidad and Tobago, Camila Vicesa, I thanking her for standing for us.
yes. Thank
Because
you,
we are
Justina.
good people, and let me tell you, has once Maduro out,
Yes.
Trinidad and Tobago is going to bounce back. A lot of island will bounce back with the oil,
Mm,
Okay. Okay.
right? So that is the hope and the future. My
yes,
prediction.
yes.
All right.
Thank
We're
you
going
so
to
much,
the
Justina.
Caribbean are going to bounce back. We're going to have everything we want.
Yes.
Okay.
Justina, sincerely, thank you. It's always a pleasure talking to you. It's good to hear from all
Thank
sides.
you
Thank you,
so much.
Justina.
Sorry about
God bless
our
you.
friend that he didn't went online.
Yes, yeah, the Guyanese. Thank you. But we will continue talking, okay? Thank you,
All
ma'am.
right.
Okay, thank you.
God
Nice
bless
meeting
you.
you. It's a
Yes, God
pleasure.
bless you.
Thank
Bye
you.
bye. Well, interesting. And it's always good to. This is the second time Yasina has been on the program, and it's great to hear from them. The first time I heard her, I was really surprised. But it's good to hear because it's about Venezuelans. And we
Yes.
could talk all we want. I'm actually. I know you got to go off to cook your lentil. Where you
Oh yeah.
cooking?
Oh yeah.
Where you
Oh yeah.
cooking today? Where you cooking today?
Well, I have some lentils. I have some actually pigeon peas, not lentil. The pigeon peas. Yeah, I have some brown rice as usual. I don't like the white rice.
Yes.
I have some dolphin. It's a mix up. It's a mix up callaloo I do it today. It's a mix up
Yeah.
callaloo I do it today.
Well,
But
can I tell you? Well, you know what? We're talking food, so I'm cooking too. Caribbean food, and so I have some red kidney beans,
yeah.
right? And I put a piece of salt, salt meat. I know you don't eat that. In mine, and so it's there right now. I can smell it coming from the kitchen. And
Yeah.
I said, I said, if you ask me, that's what I'm going to tell you. I have one today, and I'm gonna make a soup. I'm gonna get red pea soup today.
Yeah, I know.
Somebody here
Yeah.
said that they love pigeon peas, and somebody wants some. But that's it. We're Caribbean people. We're into
I
peace, fun, and joy and happiness. We don't want a
yes.
war.
I saw somebody made a comment there before I go. I just saw somebody made a comment that I don't want to hear any anti-Maduro talking. I have a narrative. I just saw somebody with that comment, right, in YouTube. No, my friend, I don't have any narrative about Maduro. What I want is to have the truth. Because in the absence of truth, we're going to have problems. And in the absence of peace, we are going to have war. And you, my friend, may very well become a casualty of that war. I'm not saying you would. I say you may very well become a casualty of that war based on what is happening. All of us may become a casualty of that war. A lot of us. So when I speak to people, I don't just allow people to run free. Because if you're saying to me that Marcia is thieving brown sugar from somebody's supermarket every Wednesday or thieving brown rice, and you're getting that from a third party, and you can't produce the documents to tell me that what the third party is saying correct, I am going to strip you down. I will strip you down to the core. You have to bring, when you're talking to me, Marcia, people have to bring hard evidence for me to convince me of certain things. There's some things I will go with you because I myself know about that. But when I'm speaking to people and you're going after somebody, whoever it is, it could have been Trump, it could have been Starmer in England, it could have been Netanyahu in Israel. I want the hardcore facts to back up what you're saying, not third party stuff. That's me personally. I'm not talking about our guests that we had on. Generally, when I'm doing anything, that's how I function from a long time ago. So I just wanted to answer that person.
Yes. As somebody said, new daughter said, yes, truth is always first. And that's why we were trying to find out where is she getting her information from. Well, we are trying to get somebody from Venezuela, living there. I don't know if they're going to want to come on.
Yeah, there is a gentleman who told me he would be available. So
Okay.
I'll try to get him for next week.
Yes.
And see. I'll try my best to get him for next week. So once we get him, we'll have him on and we'll hear what is happening inside Venezuela itself right now. Whether it's good, bad, or ugly. We don't care.
We got to know the truth.
Yeah,
Let's go after truth, and that's why it's good and it's great, Ernesto, and us as Caribbean people. Let's listen to the other side. We might be able to learn something. And see where they're coming from. We might be able to bring some education to them and them to us. And that's what it's all about, a dialogue. Thanks to everybody who joined us today. And it was quite interesting program. And, we didn't get the Guyanese. And so it wasn't that we, listen, I had this set up since last week, Ernesto.
Yeah.
And but today I don't know what happened to Miguel. He didn't join, but at least at the beginning we talked a little bit about Guyana, and how many of the Venezuelans documented are in Guyana. So at the top of the show you can find that information. Well, this is where we sign off, Ernesto, until next week, Thursday.
Yes, take it easy, take care. Thank you very much, Marcia, for having me again as always, and all of the Caribbean folks who tuned into the program. We're looking forward to have you next week again. Remember, the video is online. You can go back and watch, and you can share it with your friends. Subscribe to the Marcia Weekes Show, and of course, subscribe to St. Vincent Times as always.
Yes, wonderful, guys. See you next week, and I'm going to eat my red pea soup. I'm going to finish cooking it, and soup have to have dumplings. And Ernesto is doing a big callaloo mashup, right? All righty, guys. God bless you. Bye-bye.
All right.